How are you doing, ladies and gentlemen? I just recorded some more Evil Within, and it was so goddamn intense. Like, I can't even explain it. It was amazing. You gotta see the video. It was so freaking... I love that game, but don't worry. I will record some more Badass Thief today as well. So it's not just gonna be Evil Within all the time. I'm gonna record other videos as well. Don't worry about that, child. Don't worry. But anyways, there was one thing that I wanted to talk about today. Because I have started to think. I'm gonna buy a new monitor for my PC. But I don't know if I should buy a IPS panel or a TN panel. If you don't know the difference, I'm gonna explain it to you really fast and easy. An IPS panel, the colors that you see in your games and your movies and everything are much better on IPS panel. It's much better color quality on the IPS panel. But the TN panel, why would you want to buy that if it's worse quality on the picture, on the fucking colors? Well, because you can get a higher refresh rate. You can see more frames per second, more image per second. So if you get a really high FPS count in your games, let's say you get like 100 FPS if you got like a monster computer. That means if you have a 60 Hz monitor, you can't see those extra 40 FPS. You need a better monitor. But then again, I don't really get that. I get around 60 FPS in, the newest games. I get around 60 FPS. In Far Cry 3, I get around 120 FPS or something like that. So, but the newer games, I get like 60 FPS. And it's the newer games that I'm probably going to play, mostly. So, I think I will buy an IPS panel, because I don't need those higher refresh rates. But if I'm going to buy, a panel with higher refresh rates, I want to buy a panel that got something that's called G-Sync. And G-Sync is something that... I don't know if you're familiar to this, a lot of tech talk here. I don't know if you're familiar with V-Sync, and when you're playing games and sometimes it's lagging, it's lagging, and that is because let's see how it is. The monitor is refreshing the picture faster than your graphic card can. That means if you get lesser than 60 FPS on a 60Hz monitor, it can, start to lag, because the monitor is updating the picture faster than what the graphic card can handle. But if you turn on something that's called V-Sync, it fixes that problem, but instead you get this tearing, like, it looks ugly. You don't want V-Sync, it looks ugly. You don't want that. But then Nvidia have come up with something new that's called G-Sync, and that makes the monitor to use it. The monitor updates the picture at the exact same speed as your graphic card does in the moment. So if you get an FPS drop in your game, your monitor is just showing that FPS. It's perfect. That's what it is. It's perfect. But it haven't really got released yet. It have got released, but it's really expensive. And I'm thinking about buying the BenQ monitor, but it will be really goddamn expensive, and I don't have so much money. So I'm thinking about buying an IPS panel, because they're a lot cheaper than a 144 Hz monitor with G-Sync, because it's so new and fancy and wow, really goddamn expensive. If you're wondering what I have done here, I cut myself when I were cooking dinner last night, so don't worry, I survived. I just fixed it. I have this on just because so it doesn't get infected, so that's why it doesn't bleed anymore, if you thought that. But anyways, I thought I'm gonna buy an IPS monitor, and you can actually, I don't know if you're familiar with overclocking, you can overclock your graphic card, so it perform better, but it can also damage your graphic card. You can do the same with monitors. You can actually overclock your monitor, so the a 60 Hz monitor can, in theory, you can overclock it so it shows 144 images instead of 60 images. In theory, you can do that. Every monitor works differently. It is the same as graphic cards. You can't overclock every monitor as much as other monitors. So if you're lucky, you got a good monitor that you maybe can overclock to, I don't know, 80, 90. That's really high if you're overclocking a 60 Hz monitor, I would say. Like the monitor I have now, that is about to about to break down, because the image is started to be really, really, really weird in dark areas, because the monitor is about to stop working. I've had it for like 5-7 years. And the thing is, that monitor, I tried to overclock that like a week ago. I couldn't overclock it to 61 Hz. It is a 60 Hz monitor. I couldn't overclock it the slightest bit, so it's that bad. Some monitors you can overclock, some you can. So I'm thinking about buying an IPS monitor and maybe overclock it a little bit, just so my graphic card can handle it all the time, and I get a lot of, nice color quality on an IPS panel. I think that, I don't know. I think I'm just talking shit right now. Talking really, really shit. Because when I play games by myself, I am plugging them into my LED TV, and those colors on that TV is so great. Like, they're so good, and that TV has like 100 Hertz. Yeah, it has 100 Hertz, so it updates the picture 100 times a second, and become so tired in my arm. And the image quality is really, really, really good. So that's amazing. But the thing is, an HDMI cable, I don't think that can transfer. I don't think that can transfer more than 60 images per second. I'm not sure here, but I think that cable can only transfer 60 Hz per second. I think. I'm not totally sure here. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think so. And my TV only have HDMI imports. I cannot really use those 100. TVs, I don't know so much about TVs. I'm just a guy who knows a little bit about a little bit. But anyways, have an awesome day. Keep on glowing, you freaking noob. Just kidding. I love you.